Hello, Marion. Hi there, Vesta. Happy Monday, February 13th. Galentine's Day, I guess you could say, or Galentine's Week. What else? Super Bowl was yesterday. Wow, did anybody watch? I wasn't necessarily cheering for one team or the other. It didn't really matter to me who won, but I know I've got a couple friends that are big Chiefs fan, and one of those is one of my littles, Ben. And when they were here a couple of years ago, we were riding in the car and Ben said, "Mrs. Nabe, guess my favorite NFL football player." And I kept, well, first I was trying to, he told me team. And of course, on the spot, not being a huge NFL fan, I was trying to think of all these different teams, and Ben, I would guess one and he'd say no. Dallas Cowboys, nope. Cincinnati Bengals, nope. And this went on in the car, and I thought, he's not going to let me off the hook. And I was looking at Emily in the seat beside me, and finally he said, Kansas City Chiefs. And I said, oh, that was my next guess. And he said, do you know why? And I said, I think it's your favorite team because Patrick Mahomes is probably your favorite player. And he was like, oh, you guessed it, Mrs. Nabe. So yesterday I was kind of cheering for Kansas City to win just because I knew that Ben would be so excited. Let's see, he's 9, almost 10, almost double digits. So I was excited, and I just saw a picture of him a few minutes ago with his jersey on and his big thumbs up. He looked so excited. But even if you're not into either one of those teams, I decided I'm going to watch the game. I was reading and watching, laying on the couch. I thought, if you don't watch it, you feel like you're missing out on something that's happening in our country, right? So I was watching it by myself, and I thought, oh, I'll watch till halftime, then I'll go to bed early. Nope, kept watching. Wow, and I'm so glad I did. The second half was amazing, and the Chiefs came back to win, and it just all around was a really fun game to watch. So other than that, I worked a little this weekend. I read, I just kind of did laundry, cleaned my floors, just kind of hung out at home with me. So I hope you had a great weekend, and I hope your Monday is going well and that your week is off to a really good start. Today I'm going to show you a one-sheet wonder, and I'm going to be using a sheet of the Day at the Farm Designer Series paper, which is a celebration freebie that you can get with a $50 order. And it does have a coordinating bundle that's in our mini catalog called On the Farm, and it's pretty awesome, and I'll show you that as well. But we'll talk about it more as I show you the DSP. So let me flip my camera around right now, and we'll get started with today's project. Please share this live video and invite others to join us this afternoon. Okay, hello. So many of you on. Thank you for being here on this Monday. So let's first, let me show you the bundle. This is in the annual catalog. And let me tell you, even if you're not into the farm theme, by the end of this, you might find that this is something you could enjoy working with, especially this DSP that you can get free. But I always love, one of my favorite things about Stampin' Up! Is not just the color coordination, but also their product coordination. So this bundle with this DSP is a perfect example of that. So let me show you the Designer Series paper. You may have heard me say my mom grew up on a dairy farm. So this reminds me of her and some of my relatives that still farm, spending summers on the farm. This I love, the vegetables. Is anybody here a gardener? Do you have your own vegetable garden? This would be wonderful for people who garden, just to make up a nice little set of note cards for them. If you do any kind of canning, this would be great for using labels. If you make your own salsa to give away, again, this would be great for making tags and labels and cards. And then the back side, this one, and here's the back. Isn't this a beautiful plaid? You know what? I see this and I think this would go perfectly with our apple stamp set. But let me show you here. I'm going to stop for just a moment. In this collection of dies, and there's a lot of them. There's a ton of dies in here, all kinds of things. But some of them coordinate with this particular DSP. Here's that, the little flower, if I can get it set there. The mama and baby pig. And then this I thought was a real interesting die, so I point it out to you. This you can, and you can do this with the stamped sheep or this one here, but if you put it inside, it kind of puts those curly cues on there, so it looks like the wool's, the sheep's wool. So I wanted to show you those. In addition, there's all these additional dies that some coordinate, like these coordinate with the stamps. The barn does, that roll of hay, that sort of thing. But some are just additional dies to help us embellish and enhance our cards and paper crafts, like the other animals, the bunny, the chick, and there's a small cow, pig, a rooster, the silo, or windmill, where's the silo? Here's the silo. And you can see, so you can stamp and color and die cut, and it ends up being so much fun. And this is the one we're going to be working with today, but look how beautiful this is. So again, even if you're not into the farm scene, perhaps you know somebody who is. Oh, Margaret says your grandson is. That's why you ordered the bundle. Awesome. He'll be so excited. But look at all these other patterns that you can use for all kinds of different cards and different occasions. And I have another idea of something. And Margaret, this might be something you want to do with your grandson, but I'll share it at another time. It's doing some like matching games with the different animals. Also like counting charts with the different animals. This could be so much fun. Okay, so here is the piece of DSP I'm using. Now it is what we, oops, this darn thing. It's what we would consider a scene, a whole scene on one 12 by 12 sheet, okay? I'm going to cut this so that I can make 5 slimline cards and then a standard size A2 card, all right? So I'm going to make a total of 6 cards from this. Now, again, what I'm going to show you, the way I'm going to cut this, you can do the same cuts on, you know, perhaps the back or any of our DSP sheets to make those same 5 slimline cards plus an A2 card, all right? But sometimes we get these scenes and all people can think of is scrapbooking or a scrapbook page. What am I gonna do with this? And some people will think, I can't do anything with it, but I'm here to show you that you can. So I'm gonna get out my Stampin' Up! Trimmer. I'm going to start by cutting 4 inches off the bottom. 4 inches off the bottom. And then this piece that measures 8 inches by 12 inches, I'm just going to cut in half at 6 inches and then a half again. And then I will have 4 3-inch by 8-inch pieces. So this is how they would lay out. Okay, let me see here. So now you see there's our 8 inches by 12 inches, and I cut them into 3-inch strips, 3-inch wide strips. Now with this last piece that is measuring 4 by 12 inches, I'm going to cut off 4 inches you could do either side, but on this particular, maybe I should switch it up. Let me see. You know what? I'll switch it up from my sample. How's that? So you could really cut 4 inches off either side. All right. Now for the square, I'm going to leave this as a 4 by 4 square. Okay. But this piece, I want to cut down to 3 inches. And look what happens if I go to 3 inches. I'm cutting right through my cow. So I'm just going to shift it a little. So I get most of the cow in. And then I'm going to cut it this direction. So even though I'm cutting off this part of this chicken, I still have 2 chickens that are, what do I want to say? Full chickens, not cut chickens. All right. So now what are we going to do with all these pieces? Again, this is how it went, just for your reference. Okay. So obviously I'm going to make slimline cards with these 5 pieces. So let me start with those. I went ahead and cut out 5 pieces of basic black cardstock to mat each of these on. So these rectangles all measure 3 inches by 8 inches, doing the cutting I've just shown you. And I'm matting it on basic black that measures 3 1/8 by 8 1/8. This side I think would make gorgeous cards. Thinking of you, birthday, Mother's Day, sympathy, hope, encouragement, good luck. Could be a wedding card. So that's when I said, remember, you can use these same cuts, the same one sheet wonder on any of your favorite DSPs. Remember when you're cutting that if your paper is directional, you want to, really look at that, envision the cuts, because you want them all going the correct direction. So now I'm going to take these, and I've already pre-cut and scored my card bases. These are garden green. I took a piece of 8.5 by 11 cardstock. I cut off 4 inches, and that left me with 7 inches across. Scored that at 3.5. And so now I have a finished card that will measure 3.5 by 8.5 inches. Okay. So now I'm just going to adhere these. Now I like the narrow border that I put on these, that narrow black border. You could easily change that black to 8 1/4 by 3 1/4 instead of the 1/8 inch measurements. Or you could put another layer behind this, maybe the white, maybe that yellow. But there's an opportunity to add another layer if you like. Noreen, I'm glad it helps you to be able to see how to cut this. Like I said, a lot of times, and sometimes it's even for me that way, I have to, you know, really take a good look at it and think about it and try to envision how I could cut one 12 by 12 sheet that really looks like just one theme or one scene. This paper would be great too if you take your child or grandchild, niece, nephew to a petting zoo. That would be fun. Okay, so now I have all of these cards. I could send them as is, but I'm probably not going to. So we'll dress those up in just, well, let's do it now before I show you the last card. So I went ahead, just for the sake of time, I try to be respectful of time. I went ahead and die cut some of these animals from that sheet of DSP that I showed you at the beginning. I cut some animals, not a lot, just a few, and then some of the flowers too. Instead of die cutting from that sheet, if I didn't want to cut up that sheet, I know some people don't like cutting up paper, you could also stamp and color these and then die cut if you like. But I just thought for the sake of time today, I would do it this way. And you know me, I'm all about the DSP and how to get the most from it. I'm going to put this sheep here. Sheep always remind me of my Aunt Ezzie and Uncle Mel. Uncle Mel especially always loved having sheep. I guess even as he was a small child growing up on a farm, he always loved sheep and had them. So that's a great memory of him. And I'll put the pigs here. They're usually close to the barn. And then this one I'll just leave as is. Okay, I thought I had another one die cut here. Maybe not. Okay. For this though, I do have a little sentiment I cut. And I'm just gonna put that right here. I thought this is a good sentiment from this, from all of us. And it's got all the animals on there. And of course you could add other ones as well. Sometimes you have an occasion where several people are signing a card. This is just the sentiment we need for something like that. And then I'm going to die cut or adhere some of these little flowers I die cut. You know, I want to show you something though. Notice this one was die cut perfectly, right? I'm so proud of that one. But on my other ones, notice I didn't have them quite centered perfectly. I'm going to put this up here, I think. But notice on these three, they're not perfectly centered. Okay, I don't just throw them away. You know, I'm kind of frugal, right? I don't just throw them away. And I don't just go to my DSP and die cut more. What I do is I take my snips and I just really snip around the image, cutting away some of that excess white. So it kind of balances out a little more. And you know what? It's fine, isn't it? It's just fine that way. So if you're somebody that's frugal like me, And you don't want to die cut more paper, but you don't want to see all that white because you didn't have your die quite centered. I don't know, maybe my eyes are just tired today. Or maybe my eyes are just getting old. I know I do have to go for a eye appointment soon. Kind of overdue for that. But you can just trim off some of that excess white. Okay. So, you know, it always happens. Sometimes we don't have it centered quite right. Sometimes it just jumps a little bit. But definitely don't feel you can't use those pieces. I'm just going to put a couple right here. Actually, I'm going to pop this one up. And then this last one, I'm just going to stick inside. Okay. So there are my 5 slimline cards. You can add any sentiment to them. There's a few in here from all of us. Today is a good day. Thinking happy thoughts of you. Obviously, you can put any kind of sentiment on these, right? Thinking of you, happy birthday. All right. So there's my 5. You could embellish them maybe with the black matte dots, the black and white gingham ribbon, that sort of thing. So I'm going to set these aside because now I want to show you how I'm going to use that 4x4 square I had cut. So I've got a piece of black cardstock. It measures 4 1/4 by 11 inches. And then I scored it at 4 1/4 and 5 1/2. Okay, 4 1/4 and 5 1/2. Yes, Kathy, you'll want to watch from the front to see just how I cut that single sheet of DSP. And with the way I cut it, we're making 5 slimline cards and 1 standard A2 card. Now this basic white, and I'm putting it to the right side, measures 4 inches by 4 inches. So the same size as my DSP square. Oh, I was just thinking too, this single sheet of DSP, this would make a great puzzle, right? Maybe cut it in 3x3 squares, perhaps even laminate it or put it on a board, maybe the cardboard that comes with that white cardboard that comes at the back of the DSP packages, adhere the whole 12x12 sheet to that, and then cut it into squares, rectangles, whatever, and make it a puzzle for a little one. Now I've got a piece of 4 inch by 1 inch Pear Pizzazz cardstock. Pear Pizzazz is one of the coordinating greens for this DSP. So I've used Garden Green and Pear Pizzazz. And I am going to adhere this shut. However, before I do that, I want to add a piece of ribbon to it. Whoops. Come on. There we go. And so I've got my adhesive on the back side. I want to center this, but you can put it wherever you want. If you want it closer to that fold or more towards the left, but I'm going to go ahead and center mine. just like that. So I just folded the back ends over and stuck them to the adhesive, adding a little extra adhesive, and then I want to go down both sides of that area. This is 1 1/4 inch area, so I want to go down both sides because now I'm going to stick this down and I want that to seal really well. And then my fold, so you're getting a fancy fold here. Okay. Super easy one, isn't it? And I've heard it called different things. Joyce, what do you call it? I've heard the bookbinding fold, the scrapbook fold, scrapbook album fold. And then I just made a little bow with this black and white gingham ribbon, and I stuck it on there. Notice too that I just put my ribbon around and then added a completed bow. You can do it the other way, tie, you know, do it in one piece, wrap your ribbon, tie the bow in front. But if you want it straight up and down, this is a great way to do it. Or if you have trouble holding everything in place to tie the bow, this is another great way to do it. And then I just stamped "Thinking Happy Thoughts of You" on a piece of Pear Pizzazz cardstock and cut it out with a circle die cut. You can, if you have circle punches, the circle dies, and really you can use any punch that works well for you. Yes, Kathy, I couldn't let that 4x4 square go to waste, and look how cute it is. Now let me show you this. On my samples, I cut that bottom piece a little differently. I cut the square from the right hand side of that 4" by 12" piece. Okay, and for this card, I did the opposite, right? I cut off the left-hand side. It was the same strip, but here I cut off the left side, and here I cut off the right side of the strip. Oh, I should tell you on this sample, this was actually die cut from the Designer Series paper, but that cow was right on the edge. He was literally cut off on the edge. So I went ahead and used him that way by putting him on the edge of my card. And then of course I die cut the sheep, and I've got my From All of Us tag. All right, so what do you think? Kathy Jordan says she was on the fence about this paper. Now she's really got to revisit it. Okay. I loved it immediately simply because the memories I have of my grandparents' farm, or spending times at aunts and uncles' farms, that sort of thing. But I can see where it doesn't appeal to everybody. But then sometimes you get a second look or even a third look, and like Kathy, you want to revisit it, right? So there you go. I've made 6 cards, 5 slimlines and 1 A2 fun fold card from 1 sheet of 12 by 12 DSP. Now, even if you are thinking, oh, I'm not sure about that farm theme, you can still use this one sheet wonder, can't you? Right? And how are you going to use it? You're going to do the exact same thing. I don't know. What's a good one to pull out? Oh, how about something like this? Here's another. I love the cards. Good, good, good. Oh, Donna, yeah, Diane, yes, you can still make great cards without those die cuts. Absolutely. And, you know, it really is okay to let the Designer Series paper do the work for you. All right. But think about this. Think if I had cut this piece the same way and made 5 slimline cards and 1 A2 card. Again, fabulous, right? So even though I used this particular One Sheet Wonder with a scene DSP, you can do it with any DSP. Kathy, I did, but I can quickly show it again. So here is one sheet. That's the back side. This would be cute. This side would be cute with some of the animals. Like think of the Happy Forest Friends. You could use that with it. This I love, classic barn red. It's cherry cobbler, but in this instance, I'm calling it barn red. A nice texture, kind of like a burlap texture, I would say. We've got the geese and hens and chicks. And this looks like chicken wire, right? The vegetables, for all of you perhaps that are vegetable gardeners, or you like to make your own tomato sauce or salsa or can or freeze vegetables that you grow, this would be awesome. A pretty stripe on the back. And then this is the sheet that I die cut some of the animals from, and I love this red. Love, love, love this red. Okay, that is it for today. If you are interested, oh gosh, I have 6 cards to give away today. Woohoo! If you are interested in receiving one of these cards, go ahead and type Day at the Farm. Day at the Farm. Remember, this designer series paper is not one you can buy. It is free with a $50 order during celebration. And celebration is, what, another 15 days. Ends on the 28th of February. Okay. Any questions I can answer for you? Any questions I can answer for you? Okay, I'm looking forward to sharing some more creative inspiration with you on Wednesday, the 15th of February at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Okay, Wednesday, February 15th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Until then, I'm going to say have a great day and happy stamping, and I look forward to being back with you soon. Bye-bye.